Hi guys, this is Andy of AJ's Training, and this little video is a little bit of information about all of the components that we use and torque settings of all the fasteners for when we install an OBB, Open Box Beam vehicle restraint system. And again, what we have is our lead installer, trainer, Stuart, who's just going to talk us through all of these the components and where we use them.
So we've got the OBB system, non-proprietary system, so it is only for maintenance and repair. It can't be installed as a new system. Quite commonly used, it was deemed quite a stiff system at the time. We've got two different beam sizes. So we got our 4.8 metre beam, and we have a 2.4 metre beam, which is on the just on the end of it down there. And it all fits together using FO6 bolts. These are 24mm, torqued up to 60 to 80 newtons. They go through the beam into one of these plates. Now these plates, depending on the location, radius of the system, would depend which you use. These predominantly are the standard ones. You use them for your straight runs and down to 335 metre radius with the 4.8 metre beam. As you reduce it, then you go down again, and we use these ones with the 2.4 metre beam to lower the radius down to 110 metres, and then below that we use these ones with the 2.4. You can see these, the holes are slightly bigger and there's less material there, which helps get around the radius, because these are obviously stiff and square-ish, so we need to get around them. So that's how the beam connects together. How we connect it to the posts is a standard clamp plate. You can see there that it's slightly shaped, because that sits in the back of the beam to then give you a flush surface to meet to the post. And we use an FO2, which is a 17mm bolt, and that's torqued up to 15 to 20 newtons. Now, there are occasions when a post may fall where we got these fish plates. Okay, now if that happens, we need to use what's called a short clamp plate. No, a special clamp plate, I'll get it right. This is a special, this is a short. The short one's longer than the special. I'll come back to that later. So your special fits in between these plates, but as you can see, because of the extra gap, we need a longer bolt, which is the FO2A. And then if we slot that in the back here, because of that extra distance we've got there, that will then enable that to go in. Same torque as an FO2, same spanner size, it's just a bit longer where you need it. As I've mentioned it, we'll go into this one. On low speed dual carriage race, 40 mile an hour in towns and things like that, you might get double-sided box beam round lamp columns. So you have something called a stiffener, which goes in place. Now, these sit, two holes here, they sit on the fish plates. Okay, and they sit in there nicely. And again, on the other side, it does exactly the same for the opposite beam. Now, if you're on a radius, you're going to get to a point as you're going around where these are not going to line up. That's where this one comes into play. Now, this will sit in here, and it can, when we go in, it can slide to adjust where it needs to be. And then you use an FO6, one of these bolts, to come through into this extra hole on the end, into there. So that's where they come in. Now, there may be times where you'll see the box beam is mounted to a hexagonal bracket that's attached to a wall, and that's where we use these ones, these long clamp plates, and they sit in the back there still. But yeah, and then they go onto the mounting bracket, holding that on. Now, this system isn't a tension system, but every 100 meters within a system there should be one of these. It's called an expansion assembly, preset to a 40mm gap, but it's a 2.4 meter overall length with the gap. What that allows for is expansion due to extreme temperature changes. It could open up after an impact, because impact further down the line is going to pull that barrier that way. You'll notice here we've got stainless steel bolts. These are only torqued to 30 to 40.
30 to 35.
Yeah, nearly forgot. I did forget. So they're torqued up slightly differently because they've got to allow for that movement. Now, the plates inside, this comes all pre-formed from the factory. You'll see that the holes are elongated, yeah, to allow for that movement. It'll open up to about 76 mil and it'll close up down to about 5 mil in total. So it may be a requirement when doing a repair, if that's opened up or closed up, to loosen these off, adjust it back to the 40 mil and then re-torque them. I think
it's probably covered it all with the
for the open box beam.
Okay, thank you very much.